In early 1959, a group of hikers set out on an expedition into the mountains of the Soviet Union. They were experienced and familiar with the wilderness, but this trip would be their last. Days later, their camp was found. Their tent had been cut open from the inside, and their bodies were discovered scattered across the mountain. Despite investigations, photographs, and personal journals, no one has ever been able to explain what really happened that night. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident. The group originally had 10 members, led by Igor Dyatlov, an experienced hiker who had planned this journey carefully. They carried cameras, wrote daily journal entries, and documented everything as they moved deeper into the mountains. At first, everything seemed normal. The photos showed them smiling, walking through heavy snow, and setting up camps as expected. But during the journey, one of the members fell sick and decided to return early. At that moment, it seemed like a small decision, but in reality, it saved his life. The remaining 9 hikers continued forward toward a remote mountain known as the Mountain of the Dead. For the next few days, nothing unusual was recorded. Their journals and photos showed no signs of panic or danger. Then, on February 1st, everything changed. Weeks passed, and no one heard from them. Eventually, a search team was sent to find the group. On February 26th, the rescuers finally discovered their campsite. The tent was still there, partially covered in snow, and all their belongings were found inside, neatly arranged. But the tent itself had been cut open from the inside. Outside the tent, footprints were found leading down the slope toward a nearby forest. Some of the footprints were made with shoes while others were barefoot. Strangely, the footprints showed no signs of panic. They weren't running. They were walking, calmly, into the freezing darkness. A short distance away, under a large tree, the first 2 bodies were found. They were almost completely undressed, wearing only minimal clothing, despite the temperature being close to minus 30 degrees. They had tried to start a fire, but it wasn't enough. They froze to death. Over the next few weeks, more bodies were discovered. 3 of them were found between the tree and the tent, as if they had tried to return but collapsed along the way. Their cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. Months later, the final 4 bodies were found under deep snow. This is where things became even more disturbing. 1 had a fractured skull. 2 others had severe chest injuries, with ribs broken in a way that resembled the force of a car crash. But there were no external wounds, no signs of a fight, no evidence of an attacker. And one of them was missing her tongue. Investigators also found that some of their clothing contained traces of radiation, and one of the last photos taken by the group showed a strange light in the sky. Over the years, many theories have been suggested. An avalanche, a secret military experiment, even something unknown. But none of them fully explain what happened. The case was eventually closed with a single statement. An unknown compelling force caused their deaths. Even today, after more than 60 years, the mystery remains unsolved. What could have forced experienced hikers to leave their tent in the middle of the night, in freezing temperatures without proper clothing, and walk calmly toward their deaths?